What's up everyone? My name is Grimace, you're watching The Bespoke Woodsman. This channel is about hiking, backpacking gear. If those kinds of things interest you, click subscribe, click the notification bell. Would love to have you along. For the holidays, one of my coworkers got me an interesting gift. It's actually a subscription box. And you see these subscription boxes all the time for like everything. You'll see them for like men's wear, women's wear. You'll see like makeup or food. And it's basically every month they send you different products, and that's the theme. The theme of the one that my coworker got me was hiking. So every month I get, I guess, 4 pieces of hiking gear. I'm not gonna mention the name of the company, it doesn't matter. These kinds of boxes are everywhere. I got my first month's box and it had some food in it, some freeze-dried food. It had 2 bars in it, like snack bars, which I will try out on my next hike. But then the 4th piece of gear is this. It's a company, I don't know, it's called Beta Woody Real Wood series. It's a Beta headlamp. So it has, let's get in here real nice and tight. So it is a 3 AAA takes, batteries are included. It says it weighs 1.8 ounces, we'll check that in a moment. It goes up to 200 lumens for 30 hours. And so, you know, it's also got a 70 lumens and a 15 lumens. So that's a measure of the brightness. What's interesting is, based on this, it seems like it does not have a red light feature. So that's sort of a thing. But I thought, in looking at this, that I would kind of show you what I look at when I look at gear. So if I'm looking at something as simple as a headlamp, backpackers tend to have very sort of specific needs, likes, dislikes, and so I thought I would just kind of walk through what I like in something as simple as a headlamp. We have here sort of my jumble of headlamps. This is a black diamond spot. It's a very small headlamp, as you can see. It has, so I'm going to shine this in your eyes. It has a bright function. It has not much else, it looks like. It has a red light also. So I like to have a red light because when you're in camp, when it's night, your eyes don't have to readjust if you use a red lamp. Also, if you shine this into someone's tent, it's not going to be as obnoxious as if you were shining your bright lamp in. This monster here, this is called Nebo. I don't know much about this. I bought this on vacation because I forgot to bring a headlamp, and I was doing a lot of running at that time, early in the morning. So I needed something that would stay put. So it has this 3-prong headset, which goes over the top of your head. So it was really sturdy, really stiff. It has just a few different functions there, as you can see. So again, bright, not as bright, a flood, red, flashing red. So this is another thing, another headlamp that I now own. This is another black diamond. This is, I believe, the black diamond. I don't even know its name. Isn't that a good name? What is your name? Who knows? So he has this guy here and off. Kind of it for this one, which really is a disappointment because this is one of my first headlamps. I didn't really know what I needed yet, but not having a red light function is really not great. This is a really popular headlamp, especially among ultralighters. You'll see a lot of times they'll take this band off and replace it with shock cord. I haven't done that yet. It's still a really light headlamp. It's also rechargeable, so it recharges via USB. You can see down here there's a port, and it opens up, and you can see in here, maybe it will. Anyway, so it's got a USB cable you can just plug in. So this one just has this guy, so it gets a little bit bright. Not bad, brighter than some of these. And then also it does have the red light. Good. Next up we have this new guy. Who's this fella? this UCO woody thing, beta 200 lumen. So I'm looking at it now for the first time. It's got, this is a hefty piece here. I don't know why it does this. I guess so you can tilt it down so you can point it straight at the ground, which I don't know why you would ever want to do that. But it has, let's see here. So yeah, just the 3 settings, no red light function. So red light, red light, red light. No red light, no red light. So that's one thing that many people will be looking for, is a red light function on their headlamp. I am one of those people. Another thing that I like is, or that someone might like, is you either are going to like to recharge it or to have a battery. And that can go many different ways. If you don't have access to a charger, sometimes it's better to just bring along extra batteries, especially if you're using, even if you have like an external charger, maybe you want to use that to charge your other electronics. You don't necessarily want to worry about your headlamp. Also, a lot of times, I mean, a headlamp charge lasts a long time, so unless you're doing a lot of hiking at night, sometimes it's better to just go with whatever's going to be the simplest. You don't generally need something rugged, but if you do, maybe you want something with the top headband, where if you're going to be moving at night, through rough terrain, or if you're going to be running, or if it's particularly difficult downhill, something like that, maybe you'll want that stability. Again, I just picked this up because I needed something, and that's what the store had when I was on vacation, but it could be useful too. One final thing that is obviously very important is weight. So looking at grams, this is the Black Diamond Spot. Comes in at 58 grams. Okay, so again, this has the 3 settings. Boom. The red light, right? And it's fully adjustable and tiltable. Next up is this Nebo. Put this on the scale. That's 100 grams. So again, this is the really stable one. It's really built. It's got a lot of the functions. It's a battery operated. It's got the flood. It's got the red. It's got the flashing. One thing to note too is that it's only got 1 button, so you do have to cycle through all of those modes. Let's say you wanted to have it flashing red for some reason, or let's say you had it in red and you wanted to turn it off. First you have to go through this, which can be kind of a pain too. With this one, the old Black Diamond Spot, if you're on, then you can turn it off. If you're in the red light, which is a different button, you can just turn that off. So it has 2 buttons, one here, to turn on and turn on the red lamp. So sometimes it's better to not have to cycle through things, just kind of a pain. This is the Nightcore NU 25, I believe. So that's 53 grams. So, obviously if we switched it out and put it on shock cord, it would weigh a little bit less. But this is what it weighs, 53 grams. Remember, it's the USB charge, and it has red lamp, flashing. We can also, so it's got 2 buttons. It's got a power button and a red light button. Power button, power button, power button, power button, power button, boom. So next up is this Black Diamond, whatever it's called. This is 85 grams. The downside of this one, it's only got 1 button because it's only got 1 mode, and that is white light for days. Not even like different levels of white light, just straight up, this is what you're getting, put me on, turn me off. Next up is this Woody, the new guy, and he comes in at 81 grams. We got an 81 gram headlamp here. And again, it just has 3 different levels. So boom, 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 off, just 1 button. It is fully adjustable. I don't know why it would tilt down that way. Most of these are adjustable. It's pretty rare for a headlamp when you're working with 1 hand here. But most of them will tilt that much, to to kind of give you that. So which one is the best one? Well, that's the answer, is there isn't a best one. This is probably the worst one, no matter what. Just because it's only simple on-off, it's battery powered, it's one level, it's pretty heavy among these. It's probably the worst one, but the other ones depends on what you want. It depends on if you want a USB charge. It depends on if you want to have a flood function, if you want to have red light, which most people do, if you want to have USB versus battery, those sorts of things. And that's all just personal preference. What do I like? It depends. Sometimes I just want to go super light. I just want to go with the lightest one possible. Sometimes I want to be able to recharge it. A lot of times, especially if I'm not planning to hike at night, I will just run with this night cord just because it's on the light side. I don't have to worry about batteries. There's no, like, I don't have to bring additional batteries. I already have the cables that I'm going to plug my phone in with. So it just kind of runs independently and on its own accord. So this is generally my go-to. I do really like this too. It's just very light. It's very simple, very clean, easy to use. The orange one we talked about. This one, again, maybe if I was running, if I was doing a lot of like bushwhacking, maybe. I don't think so though. So he's just kind of in the stable. I don't know yet where this one will fit. Maybe we'll bring it along. It's a nice looking headlamp. I don't really care so much about aesthetics, but it's a good looking headlamp. And you know, if you ever want to look at your feet, if you ever want to shine light on your feet, a lot of people also, just to add an extra wrinkle to the mix, a lot of people prefer a flashlight because you can put it lower to the ground so the shadows aren't as bad. So that's something else to think about. I like a headlamp. It's just very simple. I just put it on, set it and forget it. But something else to think about. So as you start to build your backpacking kit, start to think about these questions. What is it that you like? What is it that you want? Don't just think, you know, oh, I've got to get a headlamp, and then you get a headlamp and you end up with this orange one that doesn't do anything, which is what I did, obviously, and I still have it. So start to think about what specific things you like, and maybe you don't know yet, and that's okay too. You'll go through a few different pieces of equipment, but the more mindful you can make it, your decisions, if you can purchase once and then be done, that would be best. So the ideal world would be figure out what it is exactly that you want and get that thing. It exists, and don't sign up for subscription boxes unless you want to test out new headlamps, which I'm not really mad about. Kind of neat. Can't wait to eat the food. We'll see. Trailtopia? I don't know. Never heard of it. Have you heard of it? I haven't. So that's it. Just some of the things I think about when I look at gear, specifically headlamps. If you don't mind, put in the comments what you like in a headlamp, what you don't like in a headlamp, if you learned anything from this video. Meanwhile, if the video did give you any sort of value, please click thumbs up. Click thumbs down if you didn't like it. Leave a comment, subscribe if you like hiking, backpacking gear. Click that notification bell. Would love to have you along. Again, my name is Grimace. This is the Bespoke Woodsman, and hey, let's do this again sometime.